lions safely shut away in the house area, so it's nice and safe for us to come out here this afternoon and place our afternoon feed out. So Katie and Roxanne here are going to be putting the food in various places around the enclosure for our lions to come out and find very shortly. So we have 3 African lions here at Colchester Zoo. We have our male Bailey. He's the easy one to identify. He's got that lovely large mane around his head and shoulder areas. And then we also have our 2 lionesses, Naja and Malika. Now Naja is the slightly paler out of the 2 lionesses. She's also the lowest ranking within the group, so sometimes she'll have a little bit of pressure put on her around feeding time. So you quite often find that she's the first one to run out. So when you see the trap opening up in a moment, you'll probably see Naja come running out first. Then we have Malika. She's a little bit higher ranking than Naja. However, she tends to be a little bit more shy and a bit more intimidated. So she's usually the last one to come into the house when we're getting them in for feeding and for cleaning. Now our 3 lions originally came from Woburn Safari Park, and basically our male Bailey was starting to get chased around and picked on by the dominant male there, which was his father. And this would take place in a wild situation. As you have a young male starting to mature within a family group, he'll start to become a threat to any of the cubs living within that pride there. So what you'll find is the dominant male will start to chase around and almost bully the younger male out of that pride, so it actually encourages him to leave. And they quite often leave in a small bachelor group made up of related brothers and cousins. So they then leave, and they can then survive a little bit easier living in a little social group. Now lions are in fact the only true social big cats. All the others, like your leopards and jaguars and tigers, they'll generally tend to be quite solitary and only really come together for breeding purposes, whereas the lions, they seem to be the exception of this rule and quite happily live in these large social groups called prides. Now the lionesses' role within the pride is they'll do the majority of the hunting, so they'll go out and work together as a team in order to provide food for the rest of the family. Now unfortunately for the lions, they don't have a great deal of success when it comes to their hunting. In fact, only between 30 to 40% of their hunts will actually turn out to be successful. And this is due to the size of the cats. Because they're such large individuals, they don't have a great deal of stamina, and therefore a lot of their prey will actually end up outrunning them. Lions will tend to go for animals much larger than themselves.